I'm coming to you at the end of the year to share with you two rituals that I use to set myself up for a phenomenal upcoming year. So it's around Christmas time. Christmas just ended here in my home, and I'm in the process of readying for the new year. I'm going to share two different rituals with you. The first one is a little bit more involved, and I typically start this ritual about a month, well, maybe 2-3 weeks before the new year. And then the second one I do and I perform closer to New Year's Eve. So I'm going to share both of those with you. So for the first ritual, you'll just need a pad of paper, maybe your journal, your planner, the planner that you used this past year, and maybe even your phone with the photographs that you have that you took for the year. And you're going to take a really solid amount of time, and it doesn't need to be all in one sitting. It can be done in little bits and pieces. And in fact, I actually recommend that you do it in bits and pieces because it could take a long time. So the first part of the ritual is a reflection. And this reflection is about this past year. What were the surprises for you? What were the successes for you? What were some of the shortcomings for you? And what wisdom did you gain from it all? So in essence, you're going to be going through that entire bit of questioning by looking through your planner. You looking at your photographs, looking at your journals, if you journal, to really get a sense of that first element, what were the things that surprised you in this past year? So take a really long, juicy amount of time to look at those different areas in your life, your relationships, your sacred work, your family, community, your contributions, your health, your wealth, the ways that you created practices for yourself, all of those areas that really allow you, your connection with fun and nature. And so what were the surprises in any and all of those areas for you? So that is part one of the reflection ritual. Looking back at this entire year, what was that for you? From there, you would move to the next part, which was looking at all the things that you accomplished. And I don't mean like things that you just necessarily that you did. We tend to look at accomplishments as, oh, I did this thing, therefore I get a gold star. When we look at successes, I like to look at ways that you changed either your mindset, your behavior, the stories that you were telling yourself about certain things, actual accomplishments, right? Things that you can say, hey, look at this thing that I did. Aren't I awesome? I'm so proud of this, right? I accomplished this. I'm proud of this. I celebrate this. I brag this, right? So this is that section where you're going to look at all of the ways in which you are really and truly acknowledging, bragging, and celebrating all of the things that you succeeded at this year, both internally and externally. So both the inner shifts, things that happen internally, as well as the outer shifts. From there, once you've completed going through that part of the process of the reflection for the current year, you're then going to look into the shortcomings. What are the shorts, the things that you didn't quite hit the mark? Maybe there were some disappointments. Maybe there were some areas where you could have done better, where you said, you did, you were a certain way that didn't end with a result that was fruitful, helpful, could have even been really a tough outcome. We tend to not want to look there to that, how did I fail this year? Or what were the things that I didn't do so well at? But it's so important that we look there because there's lots of gold in those areas. So I really encourage you to look at what were the things that happened in this current year that we're ending that really missed the mark. And we're not doing this part of the exercise so that we can beat up on ourselves or self-flagellate and go like, oh my God, I'm such a horrible person. Not that at all, but really looking at this from a factual, like these are the ways in which things didn't go well. Because these three areas, the surprises, the successes, the shortcomings, are all going to be weaved into that fourth part of your reflection, which is to look at all of those three areas. It's almost like it's a bowl, right? All these things hold the year for you. And above that, it's kind of like from it come these vapors of wisdom. Because we can't go through an entire year and not learn, right? From your surprises, from your successes, from your shortcomings, what were the lessons that you learned? What were the things that you realize back in January, you were this person, and now in December, you recognize in this particular area, with these particular people, in this particular situation, with this particular body, in this particular relationship, I have shifted. This has shifted. We have shifted, right? And these are the things that I learned. So these are the wisdoms that you're going to carry into the new year with you. So take the time to do that first part of this ritual, which is the reflection ritual on the current year, looking through your calendar, your planner, your journal, your photographs, and really take the time to list your successes, to list your surprises, to list your shortcomings, and to really glean the vapors of wisdom that emerged from all of it this year. So that is the first part of the ritual that I engage in every single year. From there, once I've really just chewed and digested the whole year, and really recognized and acknowledged all of the amazing things that happened and all of the ways that I could have done better. And what an amazing thing it is that I get to live into another year, that I get to be in my relationships again in this upcoming year, carrying with me all of those vapors of wisdom with me into the upcoming year. So this leads us to the second ritual that I always engage in as part of my new year. And that ritual requires certain kinds of tools. So a candle, oracle cards, let's see what else does it require. I feel like a journal would also be helpful. Yes, and your planner, your New Year planner. I typically do it in my New Year planner, but you can do it elsewhere. So oracle cards, candles, and your journal and planner and New Year planner. So let me first start with oracle cards for those of you who are not familiar with this as a tool. So although I'm very science-based, I am also mystery-based. So I go swing and hold both the science and the mystery in the work that I do, the relational work that I do, because there are things that happen that are completely mysterious and that yeah, science can't explain and is now getting hip to the fact that they're actually part and parcel of the same fabric, right? So oracle cards are, you may know certain kinds of oracle cards like tarot decks, and these are meant for divination to support you with better understanding a situation or getting hip to what's going to happen next. So oracle cards are a version of that, just a lot simpler. So I'm going to share with you two oracle decks that I tend to use. The deck that I used this year was one that was from Megan Watterson, The Divine Feminine. And the reason I love this is because of the images are just so exquisite and so beautiful and so very feminine. And each of the cards is represents an actual woman in history, a goddess, a mythological woman who brings a certain energy and wisdom to light. And then, of course, each of these cards, there's a little explanation book, if you will. Each of these cards has a little bit of background. This book has a little background on each of these goddesses, each of these women, as well as, you know, what is the significance if you draw that particular card for yourself. You're more than welcome to make your own meaning. Just look at the image and draw your own conclusions. So that's one deck that I tend to use. The other one that I used this year was this one, which was the Isis Oracle card deck by Alana Fairchild. This also beautiful images. The images are a little bit more intense though. So these are two examples of the kinds of oracle decks that you could use. So the ritual that I'm going to share with you right now is a ritual that I complete close to the new year end. So I've done it on the 31st. I've done it on actual New Year's Day. I've done it a few days before in preparation. Either way, you feel into it. But the intention of this ritual is to create a path for the 12 months of the new year, and then have a 13th card pulled for the theme of the year. So I would share that this year, this current year, the theme for my year was Hestia. Hestia is the goddess of the hearth, of the home. She's the drama-free, she's the drama-free goddess. And the card was really about coming home to yourself. And that was the theme for me for the year. And that card held that for me for the entire year, no matter what was going on. So that's really the intention of that 13th card, is to hold the energy of an intention, even though you have different kinds of things going on month to month to month. So to begin the ritual, first of all, let everybody know you're not to be disturbed. So put a note on your door, take your phone off of available, light a candle, and then have a nice, beautiful open space. Maybe have a cup of tea for yourself, burn incense, some nice, lovely music in the background. Shuffle your cards. And then from there, you're going to lay down your cards in order of the 12 months of the year, in order from January all the way through December, face down. So they'll be laying, face down. So you just plop them face down so you don't see them. And then you will lay down the 13th card maybe at the top, so that your 12 cards are laid out and the 13th card is at the top. You have not looked at all, either of them. And then you can go ahead and go through the process of getting a sense of what is your new year going to be like. So this is where your journal or your calendar comes in. So typically I will pull the theme card first for the entire year. And then I will write that down in my, I'm a paper and pen kind of calendar kind of gal. I mean, I do digital, but I like that feel of books. So I write the theme for the year for myself. And then I go through each individual card for the January, February, March, etc., all the way through the end of the year. And I also write those down for each month. So I put January, this is the card that came through. February, this is the card that came through. I don't go into, or I don't spend any time looking at the actual meaning of the cards, except for the theme card and the January card, so that I know what to expect for January. And so then each month of the year, on the very first of the month, I'll take out the next card, right? Take out the next card. What is that card for the month? What do I need to be aware of? What is my theme for the year? What do I need to be aware of? And then what I have found with this is that the card that is pulled for the month is such a match to what actually happens during the month. For example, one of the cards that I had for the month of July was the Black Madonna. And it was really about darkness and grieving and being a stand for love. And this card came in July, and this was the month after my mother had died. And it was so spot on with the dark energy that I was feeling and with the need that I had to be in a deep place of love while grieving, right? So that's an example of how the card sort of like prepares you, if you're open to it, to what's going to be happening in your life. And that way you can then be more resourced. You can kind of plan ahead. You can look at, oh, I'm seeing that this particular card in this month is showing me this is sort of like the energy that is of what's going to be coming along. So let me be mindful. Let me prepare. Maybe I need to up my practices. Maybe I need to take more time, more walks in nature. Maybe I need to cuddle with my beloved more. Maybe I need to take more baths. Maybe I need to hang out with my girlfriends. Maybe I need to sit in a blanket and pet my cat. So whatever it is, it just allows a sense of preparation and a way of, let's see. It's not just preparation. It's just a way to feel a sense of flow with the year. That's it. Those are my 2 New Year rituals, the reflection component, as well as the setting the stage for the upcoming year component. Use as you choose. I know that for myself, I have found these 2 rituals extremely helpful, invaluable, from a reflection standpoint about looking at how much I actually accomplished, what changed, how did I change, how did my relationships change, and to really acknowledge all the goodness and all the goodness to come, right? And all the wisdom that I gained from the slowing down, pressing pause, and reflecting. And then the excitement of the runway that gets to be established with the upcoming year. And of course, first of the month for each month is always like, oh yeah, that's right, that's the card. And oh, this is what I've got on my calendar this month. With that energy, I need to be mindful of, I need to up my, right? I need to take care of. So I hope that these 2 rituals will be helpful to you. Feel free to leave a comment. If you are looking for more support, more quick tips, more, yeah, opportunities to learn to be in a better relationship, beginning with yourself, so then you can then offer from a generous cup to others. Please feel free to sign up for my love notes at joelleyden.com. So glad you came today. So glad to have shared this with you, and I'm wishing you an amazing, delightful, surprising, successful, and wisdom-filled new year.